Hello, fellow humans, and welcome back to the Gold Nuggets, the show on YouTube in which we dig through the steaming pile of shitcoins to find the gold nuggets within. And today I have for you the JASMY project. But first of all, you know the deal, here the disclaimer, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm also not a programmer, so don't believe everything I say. Do your own research. I will leave all the links to the sources I used for my research in the description below. So use that as a starting point for your own research. Also, if you enjoy the videos that I'm creating, then please like the videos, subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments down below. Also, if you disagree with what I say, or you think that I misrepresented some technological or organizational structures of the projects I'm doing, please comment below. I'm happy to learn and improve my knowledge about the coin. So please engage with me. Yeah, then let's go and start with the project. Also maybe already the deal. We look at three different things. This is first of all the technology of the project, that is a team, and that is the market. So the market in this particular case is gigantic. We were talking already about it in the IOTA case. I will leave also a link to that video up here. So just look at it. And yeah, I think it's also very related to that project. To be very honest, I think the JASMY project is solving a problem that IOTA should be solving. So IOTA wants to be like layer 0 now. But I think there should be a solution like JASMY running on IOTA. This is really, really crucial for IOTA to become a real IoT platform. I'm not sure if they want that anymore, but yeah, other people are working on it, and I think they do great progress. So that's why we will talk about JASMY project. What they actually want to do is they want to build a network that connects different IoT devices, IoT users, companies that do data analytics, that use the data that is generated, and of course also the owners of the data. And that's actually the biggest part here within the JASMY project that they state, and we can go below and see it for ourselves. It's a little bit further down the line. Here, an era when data becomes a personal asset. I think that's the main state that they're doing. What they're saying with this is the entity or the person that creates data should be the owner of that data. That's the general idea behind that project. And I think this is a very important idea, especially in the context of IoT, where massive amounts of data are generated and also analyzed. Then there's of course the question, who is the beneficiary of the data that is created, of the analyzation that is done? Currently, it's a very centralized approach where you have a few players like Google, AWS, and so on, IBM, which do the data analytics, which store the data, and then later on use also that data. The generator of the data usually has very little control over what is happening to its data, what is done with it, who benefits from it. It's usually not the generator of the data who benefits from the data. This is like a major issue, especially when it comes to IoT in the private field, but also in the business sector. There's a lot of companies who integrate IoT into their production workflows and want, of course, also benefit from that through better, higher optimized production, better results, better quality products, better understanding what could go wrong, and better understanding the production process. However, they also require that this data is owned by them. And I think this is a major problem in IoT, that it's often not so clear who actually owns which data and what aspects of the data are shared and are traded. So this is actually the thing that JASMY project wants to solve. And I think that's a great thing. It's actually also very related to what I do in my professional life. So not this channel, which is my hobby currently, but in my professional side, it's very much related to this. So I really understand it, and I really feel the need for what they're doing. Yeah, so let's go to the how they're doing that. They're actually using an Ethereum-based token for that, the JasmyCoin, as they call it. It's Ethereum-based. I will comment later on the pluses and minuses of that, but yeah, let's go with that. And basically, what they want to create is an IoT platform where IoT devices can be connected to. That means this is the first layer. So you have the IoT devices that they connect to a generalized platform where all different kind of different IoT devices can connect to. So basically an integration layer for IoT devices. So this is good. So you have basically one place where all of the data is collected and stored. Then you have to do that easier, they also want to provide hardware. So basically a piece of hardware that is connected to any IoT device, to any measurement device, and then enables that device to connect to the JASMY IoT platform. I think, I'm not sure if that is really a requirement, because you can organize it in a way that it's not required. It might have to do with the security of the connection to the JASMY network, that they want to also have these hardware devices. However, in general, in the industry, you say hardware is hard. That might be here also the case. I mean, they will require a lot of chips, a lot of semiconductor systems. So there is, of course, on their side, a problem to get them, to develop them, to ship them in big enough amounts. Then you have the design, then you might have integration problems. So hardware is always a tricky part. If they solve it, that would be amazing, because then you basically can enable every measurement device. So it doesn't necessarily then has to be a IoT device already. It can be any even classical measurement device. You can actually connect into the JASMY IoT platform, which would be amazing, because especially when you go to the production industry or manufacturing industry, you have a ton of like legacy measurement devices, sensors around, that's hard usually to connect to anything like an IoT network. So if you have this hardware, that might be actually a very, very good benefit for that project. Yeah, they also want to provide, of course, consultation, development services. One of the major parts is providing a secure data analysis environment. So you basically, this is the different layers that you have. So you have basically the machine layer. So you have the IoT devices with the hardware. Then you have the IoT platform, which is collecting all of that data and is distributing it, ordering who owns that data, and so on, securing the data. And then, of course, you have a layer in which you want to analyze the data, maybe do some predictions on it, develop some predictive models, use it for some AI analysis, machine learning, whatever it is, market analysis, whatever it is you want to do with the data. This you would actually do in the data analysis layer, which they also want to create. So this is a great idea. For this, basically, they have developed 2 layers. So that is, first of all, the 2 layers are important because, of course, you want to have a general layer in which all of the data, or basically the derivatives of the data, can live. But you also want an area of that network which is more private. So which actually deals with the data that you own. For example, you have IoT devices in your home. So you want to have like a secure environment in which the data of these IoT devices is collected, and it's clear you have only control over that environment, or whoever you choose can have control over that environment, but it's basically a locked environment. So this is what they call the smart guardian. So this is like a separated part of their environment, which is only belongs to the generator of the data, to the owner of that environment. This is great because that allows you to do already some things with the data before it hits even the general market or the public. And then the second layer is the secure knowledge communicator. This is basically where all of the, let's say, derivatives of the data live, where all of the value is created from that data, basically. So this is great because, especially when you look at the manufacturing industry, it's super interesting, because that would allow basically to collect data, do something with the data in your own environment, and then decide which parts of that data you are willing to share with others. So there might be some parts of the data which you are not, which maybe are close to your core IP, or you think that they are it would be bad, for example, if your competitors get this data. But there's also some data which might be valuable for a lot of people, but which doesn't have really value, or you don't worry too much to share that data. And that's great because you have these two different environments which you basically can separate that. Yeah, and that's basically the technology that they're using. I already told they use Ethereum as a basis. There is, of course, some issues with using Ethereum. Many IoT projects do that. I think there are a lot of issues with the Ethereum network, especially when it comes to IoT, especially when it comes to scalability of the Ethereum system, when it comes to transaction speed. So I'm not sure if Ethereum, I mean, it's the most widely used. That's why I think a lot of projects also use it, because it's like the obvious choice, let's say like that. But I'm not sure if it's the best choice for IoT systems, especially scalability, speed of transactions, gas prices, gas costs on Ethereum are definitely a problem. So with that said, I know that there are other solutions like IOTA, for example. There's a Polkadot, there is Cardano. So there are a lot of different options which just could be run on. That's why I think the general idea of JASMY is great. Also, the technological idea they have behind it sounds solid and sounds good. However, they might want to overthink the use of the Ethereum environment in the future. But that depends also how the Ethereum blockchain or the Ethereum system is evolving over time. If they solve some of the issues, Ethereum might be a great solution for IoT. I think at the moment it's not. So let's talk about the team. Here is the team. That's unusual for distributed ledger technologies or blockchain related projects. The team is quite senior, let's say like that. Usually the teams are quite young. In this case, they're all already with a long history and with long experience in the field of technology, of IoT, and also of large corporations. Basically, they're all coming from Sony Corporation, which is great. Especially the president, Katsumasa Sato. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. Please correct me if I said it wrong. He had actually, he's working many years for Sony, has a ton of different patents with them, all in the direction of IoT, measurement devices, connectivity of measurement devices. So he very much comes from this direction. And I'm pretty sure that the idea for JASMY was actually born during his work at Sony. Obviously, he basically took the whole team that is working currently for JASMY from Sony. So there is, I think, a strong connection. Yeah, you see here all of the patterns. So that makes me believe that the team is great, that they have a huge potential to push that project to the next level. They have already connections to companies which are in that field. I mean, Sony is one of the biggest players in the IoT field, also wearable devices and so on. So I think it's a great start for them to come from this direction. They have, of course, a ton of experience. There might be some issues with language, obviously. I don't know if how well the team is in English. The web page is mostly in Japanese. The English translation is at points, yeah, not so great. White paper is also only available in Japanese, which is of course a downside. I don't speak Japanese, so I cannot do a full assessment of the technologies, to be very honest with you, because most of the information, the deeper information especially, is done in Japanese. Also, the web page, yeah, I mean that to be very honest, you see that often in Japanese corporations. It's very similar to that. They try, but it's like, you know, missing something. It's like very linear web page. It's very heavy on text. So it's very technical web page, but the design is quite poor, I would say. So the same as on marketing. They have a Twitter account. They're also Twittering a lot. However, it's all in Japanese. So, you know, this gives, of course, an issue if you want to approach a broader audience for your project. Only having everything in Japanese and only limited information in English is a little bit a holdback for the project, in my opinion. So I hope they will work on that and they will improve upon that. Because to be honest, I think it's a great project. It's a great idea. It's a great team. There might be some issues with the Ethereum they build it on, but okay, I'm not the specialist to evaluate that completely. But yeah, altogether, I invested a small amount into the project. I want to see how it evolves, how they deal with marketing in the future, if they improve their addressing the English-speaking audience, which is definitely much larger than the Japanese-speaking audience. They were just listed on Binance, so that gives a project, of course, a great boost. I think also that currently it's in Japanese. It's maybe also an opportunity for early investors, because definitely a lot of investors are holding back because, you know, they don't get the full picture. So if you better understand the project and you have a good idea of what the project can bring to the table, or what problem they're basically solving, I think that's a big plus. And investing now might be a benefit in case they're improving their marketing presence, their information in English. The project might actually increase significantly in price of the JasmyCoin. Yeah, so this is basically what I wanted to talk about. In general, you can also go back to the IOTA video that I talk also about a little bit about the IoT market size, which is gigantic. So if they can tap into that, that's mega. I mean, they have a gigantic market. More I will not even say about the market at that case. If you want to have more information, check out the IOTA video. So yeah, I think actually they have a solution, or they solve a problem that, in my opinion, would fit very good to the IOTA project. If IOTA doesn't want to solve the project, that's fine. I would actually like to see a combination of both of them. So basically have the Jasmy marketplace and interaction together with the background of the IOTA system, which in my opinion looks more sufficient for IoT and for being an IoT network than the Ethereum environment. But that's just my opinion. I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for today. Please, if you like the content I do, subscribe to the video, like the video, leave a comment below. Also, if you disagree, just let me know what's your opinion. I'm happy to discuss with you about this. Liking the video, subscribing to the channel also keeps me very motivated to do more content. So if you like the content and you see value in it, please do it. Again, this was not financial advice. All of the sources I used are in the description down below. So just use it as a starting point for your own analysis of the project. Then see you next time, and goodbye.